Treasure Island, Community Assessment by Jennifer Bigman Myers. Historical overview of Treasure Island. Treasure Island was settled by the Timucua Indians in 300 AD. 1900, St. Petersburg, a neighboring town, experienced a land boom, which brought many tourists to the beaches. In 1955, Treasure Island was incorporated. Three major subdivisions were made: Isle of Capri, Isle of Palms, and Paradise Island. This is from the history of my Treasure Island. Historical continued. Treasure Island was used by smugglers and pirates. Due to its access to the Gulf, it made it very easy for them to use Treasure Island for their grounds. After World War II, there was a surge in commercial and residential construction. Treasure Island was established by its tourists. They allowed the community to thrive and grow. They also brought growth and development for the community. People who were tourists decided to visit and stay, make it their home, which then in turn, as they had children and their children has children, people became habitants of Treasure Island. The structure of the community that I found is they have their own fire department and police station. Their neighboring schools are where the local children go. These schools can be located within 10 to 20 minutes from the community, the closest one being Madeira Beach Elementary and Middle School. Then you have Azalea Middle School and Elementary School. They have their own recreation centers, pools. They have a golf course, tennis courts, and of course their very own beautiful beaches. Structure of the community continued. One of the biggest issues that they have are their roads. Construction on beaches can put them in lockdown. Some have been fixed, some are being fixed. I did a lot of traveling in this road as I live nearby to it. I also do some running on these roads, and the traffic patterns can be confusing. Once the roads are fixed, it will be easy access to and from the community and the environment. Upon talking with the mayor, who is Mayor Bob Menning, his term goes until next year. The hardest issue they have are the tourists who come and don't show respect to the community, trash the beaches, trash the roadways. With tourists come other problems, but they also come with great purpose. Population of the community continued. As I said, I drive and run through this community, and a quick observation that I noticed is a lot of the houses are on top of each other. Some people have come in, taken down the smaller houses and built up bigger houses. They have to build up. Some houses are on stilts due to flooding. You have to build up in this community, not out. You have to make sure that you have appropriate hurricane specifications on your house. The hotels also have to do this also. You don't find a lot of motels that go across only one or two, three floors. You will find a lot of hotels that are, 10 plus floors on the beach. Another thing that we see that is a concern for the population of the community, some near drownings are some of the biggest concerns due to the beaches and the rip currents. People also suffer from dehydration. That can be a huge issue. People are out in the heat. They're not drinking enough fluids. They like to get on the beach and bring their alcohol, even though it's not supposed to be there, which can cause multiple problems. The fire department also deals with seacraft accidents on the water. This was for Fernandez, who is a local from the the fire department there. They get calls to that, and then they have to figure out how to do water rescues. And depending on how far they out, they sometimes have to coordinate with the Coast Guard. Health-related resources availability. So I found the ratios as follows. Primary care is about 1 to 90. Dentist is 1 to 66. Mental health is 1 to 171. And others are 1 to 90. I called about a handful of primary care doctors and 2 dentists. They take most all insurances, including Medicare and Medicaid. Some of these doctors do take self-pay, and they are willing to work with the self-pay patients and possibly do month-to-month patient payments depending on how long the person is there. There are over 93 primary cares that serve the area. This was found on mytreasureisland.org in 2015. I made the primary care one of my biggest rationales and most important because a lot of the primary cares now are trying to coordinate all of healthcare issues. Treasure Island not only is a tourist town, but it is also a town that has more elderly people in it. So there's the primary cares are starting to coordinate because, as we know, elderly have multiple doctors that are specialists, cardiologist, endocrinologist. They go to the dermatologist for their skin cancers, and they just need somebody who can continue to tell them where to go and where they need to be on a regular basis. In my analysis of the environment revolves around their beaches. They are Treasure Island, number one, is a tourist town. Right now, they're trying to find a happy medium between the city and the hotel owners. Back in 2015, you had 3 hotel owners that sued the city. The city is known for having events on the beach, and when they would have these events on the beach, they would allow the cars to park on the beach, which then in turn was ruining the beaches. Um, the the hotel owners actually won that case, and now the city events are down to 3 a year, and most of people have to park a mile from the event. They did do appeal, and it's still in the court cases. This was all the information was from Ask the City Manager 2015. Public concern is that they would like a stronger police presence, especially in tourist season and at its peak season. They would like to have the beaches patrolled more and have the number of cops increase during holiday events. The economic concern is keeping the beaches clean and beautiful. This keeps the tourists coming back. The city workers found in the Ask City Manager 2015 are unable to fluff the beaches to make them beautiful due to the driving code, and they just need more city workers. There's a vast majority of beaches to be covered. That's part of Treasure Island. So they can't make the beaches as beautiful as they would like to, that they used to. The 6 community needs that I chose, the first one is the clean beaches. With the clean beaches, the tourists will want to come back, which helps to support the locals and allow the community to thrive and grow. Clean roadways. Many people walk from place to place from their hotel, having roadways that are littered. People can get hurt. A car can hit the litter can fly up and hurt people, or it can hurt the car, which then in turn is a bigger expense. Excuse me. Updated hotels. It allows for the tourists and the locals, if they need to use a hotel, to have a safe place to stay, clean and healthy environment. On the beach, you have to deal with mold. Mold toxicity can be very detrimental to one's health if they're exposed too long. And then updating the roadways. This allows for better traffic patterns. This allows for quicker access on and off the island in case of emergency also. A strong police presence makes everyone feel safe, lets everyone know that the community is a safe place to come to. The tourists come with their family, with their kids, all walks of life and ages come here. Just knowing that the police are there, and the police are there to help and not to put a damper or detriment to things, that they're there to work with the community and the locals and the tourists. Last but not least would be water safety and educating the tourists. Maybe more signs, maybe a pamphlet in the hotels discussing, with a picture of the rip currents and what you're supposed to do if you're caught into a rip current. Reminding people to be aware of their children. Everybody gets excited. Your children run off. We have multiple children, and sometimes we're the only person out there with our multiple children, making sure that children are in proper water safety gear and things like that. This community was very fun for me to view as a community health nurse. If I were to be one, I would love to walk the beaches. I would love to educate people and do seminars at maybe a meeting. There's a lot to be done on our local beaches, not only Treasure Island, and it was very interesting for me to get to delve into the community. I hope you all enjoy this.